All right, you guys, I have a story for you, and it's kind of a miraculous one. At least it is to me, and I want to share it with you. It's pretty incredible. So, little backstory, I have been playing guitar since I was 12 years old, and I've gotten the privilege and opportunity to play in many bands, play with many incredible musicians, and most of my journey as a musician, I've been a worship pastor at my church and led worship for a very long time, and it was really, really fun. But when we moved out to California, I quit all that. And it's not that I don't believe that anymore. I just quit because I was focusing on helping Veronica and Vanessa with their career. So we moved out to California, and about 5 years into it, I was riding a hoverboard at Dietrich's house. I don't know if you know who Dietrich is. He's a really cool guy. He's a great dancer. Amazing guy. And anyway, I was riding a hoverboard at his house, fell off of it, and shattered my elbow. Really, really badly. My left elbow. This elbow right here. I needed surgery on it. The doctor said that my break was the second worst he's seen in all of his years on an elbow. It was completely shattered. In fact, parts of it were powder. So my first concern was obviously I wanted to get it fixed, but after that I was like, it's my left hand. Will I be able to play guitar again? So the doctor told me that, yeah, more than likely I would be able to, but not nearly the way that I could before. I didn't believe him, and I was convinced that I would get back to how I wanted to play. So after physical therapy, I began trying to play my guitar again. And it took me a while, but I was able to start playing. But the doctor was right. I could not play like I used to, simply because of the mobility. So my elbow, this is as far as I can, this is what a normal arm looks like. This is what my elbow, that's as far as I can do it, and that's as far as I can straighten it out. And I have it to, I don't know if you can see on camera, but when I lay my palm over, I have to do that. So when I held the guitar, it was really, 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 really difficult. Needless to say, it was very discouraging, very frustrating, trying to play guitar. And don't get me wrong, I could play, and you've probably seen some of my Instagram stories where I was playing guitar, but I always experienced this level of frustration of not being able to play like I used to, because on the lower strings, the E, the A, and the D strings up on the lowest frets, furthest away, closest to the head of the guitar, I really, really struggled playing like I used to. Like I couldn't stretch my fingers out correctly, and I just couldn't reach them like I wanted. So I was very limited and very frustrated. I kind of just gave up on playing guitar. And I felt like that part of my life of really, enjoying playing guitar was over. So fast forward through the next, 3-4 years, here to last summer, I had begun to invest my life in other ways. Obviously, creating content for my daughters, and that was really cool and a lot of fun. I began investing my time in virtual racing, which is iRacing. It's this really cool platform. I got the steering wheel. Maybe you've seen some of my videos where I've done some virtual races. I did a race for 24 hours. When I was a kid, I either wanted to be a musician or a race car driver, and so musician won out. So this virtual racing thing through the pandemic really overtook my life, and I got to do some really great things and meet some really cool people. Shout out Kevin. And have a lot of fun with it. So last August, I got done doing a virtual race. I spent about 3 hours just sitting in front of this thing, driving my racing simulator, and I felt like it was a total waste of time. And I got really convicted about it. I laid in bed that night and I was like, what did I just accomplish? I took 3 hours of my life going around in circles. And so the next day, I felt like I had prayed about it. I felt like God was saying, hey, that's too much of a priority in your life. Why don't you put it away for a while? I have something else for you. I was like, okay, I want you to do other things. And at that time, we were getting ready to start shooting the series and all of that. So I put the racing simulator away. It's out in our storage. And I just began focusing back on production and family and all of that. So fast forward a couple weeks, I'm sitting in church, and we're singing this song, a worship song, and it just says, if I'm not dead, you're not done. I felt in my heart that as I prayed and as I was listening to the song and singing the song, I felt like God was just saying to me, Paul, when did I ever tell you to stop playing guitar? When did I tell you to stop singing? When did I tell you to stop music? Period. And I'm like, okay, but God, I can't play my guitar like I used to. That night, I sat down and I picked up my guitar, and I was trying to write some music, trying to write some lyrics, and as usual, I just kind of got really frustrated because I just couldn't play like I wanted to play, but I felt like I was supposed to do something. I sat there and I was frustrated and I was trying to write some lyrics, and I just felt like I just need to write out how I'm genuinely feeling right now in this moment. And just a prayer, a confession to God. I printed it off my computer, I took it out, and I went to bed, and I lay down in bed and I was holding it, and I read it to Wendy, and just said, that's my prayer, you know. And I'm just telling you guys that I felt worthless. I felt like I had nothing left to contribute creatively, musically, anything to the world. So I left it on the side of my bed, and it sat there, and I would look at it and read it, this prayer, every day for a while. And then I put it in my Bible and just kind of, you know, was still frustrated, still couldn't play the guitar the way I wanted to, and I didn't think about it hardly anymore. I just kind of said, okay, I'll just kind of release it, and I'll get inspired or something will happen. So as you may or may not know, Vanessa has a boyfriend. His name's John Vaughn, and John is a really cool guy, but he plays in a band called Public, and John is a great guitar player. You know, we would play guitar a little bit here and there, and one day, it was actually when we were shooting the first $10 versus $10,000 date video. John had just got back into town and didn't have time to go drop his guitars off, so he left them here at the house, and he has this really cool Gibson Les Paul. And I've never been a big Les Paul fan. Don't ask me why, but I just haven't. Well, I know why. It's because I was into Van Halen when I was growing up, and Eddie Van Halen was my guitar hero. So I always played a Strat style, a body of guitar. They go on this date, and as he's leaving, he's like, hey, if you ever wanted to play my blue guitar, you know, just pull it out and play it. And it kind of got me thinking, and they left for their date, and so I came back in, I pulled down my Fender, and I started playing, and I got frustrated, and I just was like, I'm done, and so I was putting it back in the stand and everything, and I looked over, and John's guitar was there, and I was like, you know, I might as well try to play it. It's a freaking cool guitar, so I might as well try to play it. So I picked up his guitar and I began playing, and something amazing happened, and I videotaped it and I sent it to John. Hey John, so I'm playing your guitar, all right? I decided I was gonna play your guitar, and listen, it's freaking awesome. I've not been able to play anything on the lower registers like this without struggling like crazy. I've not been able to do that on any other guitar but this guitar. Dude, it's like a freaking, I don't know. I'm just so excited. I can play like I used to play. Like chords are like easy or something on this. I think it's the neck, the way the neck is. Not been able to do that. By the way, this guitar is freaking awesome. I'm buying one tomorrow. So for some reason, I could play that guitar. And I was like, what the heck? All of a sudden I was like hopeful. I wasn't frustrated. I could do what I wanted to do on the guitar. And so I went in and I showed Wendy the video that I sent to John, and she was like, yeah, you definitely need to go buy a guitar like that tomorrow. So the next day, John and Vanessa and I went down to Guitar Center in Hollywood, where I've always wanted to buy a new guitar. and went back to their vintage guitar selection to look at Gibsons. And John's guitar is a custom, and so I wanted the exact same guitar. And we had played, before we went back to this section, we played a couple of the standard Gibsons, and they just didn't feel right, and I couldn't play them like John's guitar. So we went back there. I explained to the guitar technician back there what I was looking for, and I didn't know what the guitar was, but I need to play a couple because of the neck and the way the neck feels and all of that stuff. And so we played like 4 guitars, and then we came to this guitar, and it fit like a glove. So here it is. This is my new guitar. This is a 1957 Gibson Les Paul reissue in Metal Flake Red. It's like a ruby red color. It's really, really pretty. I really love this guitar. So after that, when I got home, I was like, I got to start practicing. So for the next 3 months straight, 3 months, I did not miss practicing every night. Some of the most mundane things you will ever practice, because I felt like I'm getting a second chance. I need to be the best guitar player I can. So anyway, after years and years, after the last 5 years of being on hiatus, I finally got to a place where I could play guitar again. And I was just blown away. Every night I would come in here and I'd practice my scales, practice to the metronome, just over and over and over again. And then every night when I was done, I would just put it back in the case, put my guitar back in the case, and I would just say a little prayer and just say, thank you, God, for the ability to play guitar again, because I was just so thankful that it felt like this, that it felt good. So then one night I went into my bedroom, and I saw my Bible, and I remembered the prayer that I wrote and stuck in there. So I'm going to read it to you right now. I won't read all of it. So this is called Confession, just basically a letter to God, my prayer. So I said this: for so long I believed it was over for me, the flame that once burned with creativity. I surrendered it to my doubt, wondering if all that I'd ever done were now worthless words that I sung. Cast aside, my voice drowned out. The rush of wind, the gravity of all you've done for me, comes like rain on broken ground, changing how I see. You open my eyes that there's still a race left to run. You are timeless without age. That's your song to be sung. My weary hands and shattered bones will do my best to try to hone the word and chords to make a song for you alone. My arm cannot bend to hold this guitar like my old friend. Please help me find a way to praise you without end. I'm so thankful to hear your voice saying you're not worthless. I don't know why, but you call again, so I surrender. I confess. So that was the prayer that I read. And the thing that stood out that I wrote months and months before I even played John's guitar, a couple months before. My arm cannot bend to hold this guitar like my old friend. Please help me find a way to praise you without end. Guys, he helped me find a way to hold my guitar like my old friend. Now, if that's not an answer to prayer, I don't know what is. I'm so thankful. So thankful. You don't know how much joy it has brought to my life to be able to play guitar again like this. So, it's weird to confess it and to say this, but, some of the reasons why I was telling dad jokes and stuff is because I had an empty place in my life of creativity that I was trying to make up for not being able to play guitar like I want to. Same thing with racing. I was getting involved in racing because I couldn't do what I've been doing all my life, which is from 12 years old to now. So I'm so thankful that this happened. And look, you guys, I don't know what you believe, but I do believe in God. I do believe that He answered my prayer. And I feel like I have a second chance. I just want you to know that I'm not trying to be like super religious or anything like that. I'm not trying to convert anyone or anything like that. I just wanted to share what God answered this prayer in my life, and I think it's really freaking cool. And I'm so happy and so thankful that I'm getting the privilege to even share this with you. And look, God didn't heal me. My arm's still the same. I can't bend my arm any farther than that. But like my prayer said, He helped me find a way to hold this guitar. Just the millimeters of difference that it made for me to be able to just be right here and be able to play all these notes was in this guitar. And I wouldn't have discovered it had John not come into our lives. He left the guitars here, said, hey, you should try to play it sometime. And I did. I don't think it's a coincidence at all. I don't know how to end this video. I don't know what to necessarily say to you, because I know that there's so many people that believe different things about God, or maybe you don't believe in God, and that's fine. And there's no judgment from me, whatever you believe, whatever your faith is. I just know that for me, what happened was, it may seem small to you, but it's astronomically huge to me in my personal life, and just feeling like I have purpose again with music, something that I absolutely love more than anything else. I just want to have fun. I just want to enjoy music, and I might sing some songs and sound really old when I sing, but I just feel like that I'm supposed to. I don't know how else to say it. I'm supposed to. Just want you to know that I think you're an amazing person, whoever you are, whoever is watching this. You're more amazing than you know, and I believe that God has a purpose, a plan for everyone. And God's purpose for me is to love everyone that comes into my life, to treat them with the utmost respect, but also to play guitar and make videos and have fun with my family and love them in a way that God calls me to. Anyway, this is really cool. I get to play guitar again, and it's been absolutely joy. So one of the things that I did was, if you've seen it already, I posted a video of Veronica VANESSA, and I took Runner Runner. I got the original recordings, the original tracks of their vocals, took out all the other music, and I replaced it with guitar. So I want you to know, when you listen to that, when you hear Runner Runner and all the crazy, like, over-the-top guitar that I put in there, which I did that on purpose, because it's fun and I really like just rocking out. It was a fun song to redo. I could not have done that. I couldn't have done that 8 months ago, before this all happened. I couldn't have done that before this all happened. So when you hear that, just know that the playing that's on there, that's because God answered my prayer. There's my story. Go watch the Runner Runner video, and I hope you guys have a blessed day. I hope you find encouragement from this and hope from this. And God loves you, and I love you. See ya.